you're doing well. This afternoon, we got a brother on that's been here before. His name is Marcus Blalock. He's going to talk to us on a different path. Last time he was here, we talked a little more about him being an author, but he got some other things that's going on. So we're going to give him opportunity and space to tell us about those things. So we're going to jump right into it. All right, good afternoon, bro. How you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing, Jay Renee?
I'm pretty well. Thanks for swinging the block and coming back to holler at us. So we're going to just jump.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to jump right into it. Tell the people a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
My name is Marcus Blalock. In the streets, they know me as Money or Money Mark. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. At this present time, I just turned 54 years old last month. Pretty much, before I got incarcerated, I had my own business. I had a landscaping and construction company, was doing quite well. I had contracts with the city and with the county, and everything for me was, life was great. Life was doing good, up until a certain point.
Okay, so let's talk about that certain point. I know that you want to talk about your case, but what exactly do you want to, talk about? Tell us what's going on with you.
Okay, right now, in 2001, I was convicted of murder. At the time, it was the beginning of my season. It was April, and I had my crew. We were getting things, together for our first day back on the job. We went to Home Depot. I took two of my crew members. We went to Home Depot. As I was coming back, I had some other crew members waiting at my personal residence. And as I was coming back, I was in the passenger seat in one of my contractor's trucks. And as he pulled in my driveway, that's when all hell broke loose. The ATF, U.S. Marshals, and this task force called the SEAL team, they came running out my house, my neighbor's house, my garage. They had me surrounded. And, at the time, I thought it was a drug bust. So I'm laughing because at the time I'm thinking, I'm clean. I don't have nothing in my house. I'm cool. I got some money in my pocket, but that's it. That's all I got. The money in my pocket came from a check that I cashed that I just got from Cleveland Metropolitan Housing Authority. And that check was it was over $20,000. So I had a nice chunk of that money on me at the time because I'm paying for cement this day. I'm paying for materials and whatnot. So when I got out, these guys, when they come, they have on masks, so you don't know who. Now, in the past, before this incident happened, I had a long, unsavory relationship with two detectives that's been out to get me since I was like 13 or 14. These detectives, they would do just about anything to put a case on me. So anyway, long story short, when the mask go up on one of the detectives, he said, I don't know what you laughing for. This ain't got nothing to do with drugs. This is murder. So I'm like, murder? I'm like, are you serious? So at the time, they take me to the city, whatnot, process me, tell me I'm being charged with murder. Now, the murder case stemmed from a female that I grew up with, who I had a relationship with. Not a serious relationship, kind of like a friends with benefits things. Somewhere along the line, maybe 2 years before this case come about, our relationship goes sour and I quit messing with her. So this is where this whole case stemmed from. This case stemmed from her. It was her case, her and my other co-defendants, it was their case. My dude come home from the feds in 2000. I put him together, set him up right. And at the time, he asked me about the girl that I used to mess with. I tell him I don't mess with her no more. We had a couple run-ins that wasn't right, so I cut her loose. Him being thirsty, he went behind my back messing with her. I don't care. When I found out, I don't care nothing about that. However, she used him to set me up, and that's how I ended up catching this murder case.
Okay. Now, when you say she used him to set you up, what do you mean? And who were they saying was murdered that they tried to pin on you, or that they said you did?
Well, the guy was supposed to have been a guy that was in the streets as well. He was originally from California. but he stayed in Lorain, Elyria, Ohio at the time. This female that I used to mess with, let's say for the sake of names, let's say Sabrina's her name. Sabrina and this guy had a relationship going on. This girl that I used to, mess with, she messed with everybody, dudes that's in the street, put it that way.
Okay.
This is the crowd of people that she flock around. It's guys like myself that used to be in the street and guys that's in the street. This is the guys she messed with. So if you get in a bag, she owns you. However, by her messing with all these different individuals, you know what I'm saying? Like she's into more than just messing with them. She's setting these guys up. Okay. So this individual that's from the Lorain, Elyria area, she had been with him all that day. The day which would have been March 23rd, 2001. She was seen with him in his F-150 pickup truck by his sister, by different people he know, by his best friend. She was back at his house. She lied to the detectives and said that me and him had a drug deal set up at her house. Now, mind you, I ain't talked to this female in 2 years, so how in the heck did I have a drug deal set up with somebody that I don't even know? I don't even know this guy. I haven't never seen this guy in my life. However, by my co-defendant messing with her on the side, they got something going on, unbeknownst to me.
Okay.
So my co-defendant, who was at one point in time my best friend, is messing with her on the side, and they supposedly had set this guy up. Now, by this being my dude, my rappy, my guy, however you want to put it, this is putting me with him, even though I wasn't with him. But everybody know this is my guy. So when he get caught up with her, they put the case on me and say I was the one that shot this guy at her house. I never been at your house. I didn't shoot no guy. I never been at your house for a drug deal. I never even talked to this guy. I couldn't even tell you what this guy looked like.
Okay.
So excuse me. So whenever they do what they do, and this guy gets shot at her house or whatever, my co-defendant, who used to be my guy, my best friend, he came to my house. I was on my way to an alumni ball that night. I'll never forget, it was March 23rd. I remember this like it was yesterday, and it was 23 years ago. He came to my house. He called me first. I'm on my way out the door. He said, "My man, where you at?" I said, "I'm at the house." He said, "I need to swing through. I got to holler at you. It's a 911. Long story short, I said, "Come on through. Hurry up, because I'm on my way out the door in a minute. As soon as my lady comes from the hairdresser, we out." So, bam, he came to my house. When he come to my house, he's all ecstatic. So I'm like, "What's going on?" So he said, "Man, this girl, she done killed this guy, blah, blah, blah." So I'm like, "Kill what guy?" So he get to telling me. So I said, "Man, I don't even want to hear no more." He said, What should I do?" I said, "I don't know what to tell you what to do." So I said, "Where is she at?" He said, "She's in front of your house." I said, "No." He said, "She's in the car in front of your house." I said, "Why did you bring her to my house?" Now, by us being street dudes and in the streets, or past street dudes, however you want to put it, you kind of selective of who you let come to your house, or people knowing where you stay at. So I'm like, "Why would you bring her to my house? She don't know nothing about where I live with my family, my girl, and none of that." So I go outside to the car and I see her, and I ask her. I said, "What's up? What's going on?" I said, "You really killed this guy?" She nodded her head at me and said, "Yeah." I said, "Wow." I walked away from the car shaking my head like, "Wow, this girl gangster." I told him, "Man, go drop her off, man. Get her away from my crib." 2 weeks later, I'm being arrested for murder.
Wow. So
from there, it went all downhill.
Right. I was about to say, I know that they once you get to the courtroom, that's a whole nother monster. How was your legal representation?
Yeah. Well, at the time, I thought that I had two power attorneys. However, when you're going up against two crooked detectives, a crooked prosecutor, and the judge who then had ex parte conversations with the prosecution and with the detectives without your legal representation present, when it's a law that says there should be no ex parte conversations, then it's going to the left from there. The same person, the same judge that I end up going in front of. I don't know how it is in any other state. In Cleveland, in Cuyahoga County, when you catch it, once you get indicted for a case, your name goes into a lottery, and they pull it out, and that's who judge that you'll be assigned to. Now, this judge that I got, coincidentally, happened to be the same judge that the detectives went to get the search warrant and arrest warrant for my house. How is that? How does that even happen? The same judge that signed my arrest and search warrant is the same judge that's overseeing the case? That hardly ever happens. But it did happen in my situation. So it was a setup all from the jump. You understand what I'm saying? And from that point on, when I'm looking at all the paperwork, when they're giving me the arrest warrant and they're giving me the search warrant, I'm like, how did this judge happen to be the same person that signed the arrest and search warrant? Shouldn't that be another party? Because now this party is being biased towards the defendant. Right. Because she has firsthand information, whether it's true or it's false. She has firsthand information about the defendant, so the picture has already been painted. You understand what I'm saying? So when I walked into that courtroom, I'm already the bad guy. The detectives, mind you, like I said, we have a long history from when I was 13 or 14. When I caught this case, I'm 31 years old. So they went in there and told her all this bad stuff about me. When I used to be in the streets, hustling, doing this, doing that. I'm a bad guy to the community. You know, you can just imagine what they told her or what they sold her on so she can sign a warrant. Right. Now, there is no evidence in this case against me. I'm convicted on a hearsay statement. There's no evidence. There was never no evidence, never no DNA being me being at the scene of the crime, no DNA at the girl's house where she said that I was with the guy doing the drug deal. Her aunt lives next door. I've been knowing her since I was about 6 years old. Her aunt said, they asked her, could you describe me? She said, yeah, I've been knowing him since he was a little boy. No, I didn't see Mark there. I didn't see Mark at the house. Right. And she described who she seen. So I know that these detectives, along with this girl, because of whatever happened in our past relationship and she was mad at me about, she helped the detectives put me away.
How long have you been incarcerated?
There is no mystery. Huh?
How long have you been incarcerated for this?
I've been incarcerated 23 years and 9 months. 22 years and 9 months, I'm sorry. In April, it'll be 23 years. I got locked up April 6, 2001.
I know that, have you done some appeals, correct? What's going on with now legally? What's going on?
I've been appealing my case, Jay Renee, from the day one I got convicted. After the conviction, you got 30 days to file your notice of appeal. Right. I went from my trial attorneys and hired a known appeal attorney who was very, very well known. Rest in peace, Paul Mancino Jr. I retained Paul Mancino, who at the time was a dog with appeals. Mm-hmm. I retained him, and I had Paul for roughly 18 years before I switched and got another attorney on my case. Now, when I first got convicted in 2001, I got convicted August 2001. September, Paul filed my notice of appeal. Okay. By November, they were getting the records and trying to perfect my appeal. Okay. By January the following year, 2002, my first briefing went in. Not only did my first briefing go in, but he filed what's called a post-conviction motion for relief, because he had other evidence. He had statements from 2 other co-defendants that saying I was not there, that they came to my house after the fact and told me what happened
Right.
after the fact.
Right.
So I had those statements along. I had those two statements along with the co-defendants, two of the co-defendants, because it's a 4-person case. It's me, the girl that lied, my guy that used to be my best friend, and another guy that's involved, which is one of my guys, like, I want to say, like, his little cousin.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, long story short, these guys wrote statements and said that I had nothing to do with it. Now, the reason why my lawyer, and I didn't understand this at the time because I wasn't privy to the law like I am now.
Right.
The reason why my trial attorneys did not have them testify is because they have criminal records. I have a criminal past. I didn't even testify in my own case. Mm-hmm. But all my criminal past is drug cases. I don't have a murder case.
So let me ask you
long
this, bro.
story short.
Oh, go ahead.
In 2002, he filed a post-conviction. The judge, the same judge that signed the arrest warrant, search warrant, and overseen my trial, denies my post-conviction motion. So after the post-conviction, we appeal that. So I got 2 appeals going at once. I'm appealing the post-conviction. I'm appealing my direct appeal. In 2003, they reversed and remand part of my case. Along with aggravated murder, I was charged with tampering with evidence and obstruction of justice.
And what evidence was they trying to say that you tamper with, and what obstruction? Like, where did that come from?
The obstruction comes because they saying after this guy get killed, I didn't call the police.
Okay.
But and the tampering comes from the removal of the body. This guy was eventually found in PA on the turnpike because after the case, after her and whoever else killed this guy, they put the body in the back of a truck and drove him to PA and left him on the turnpike and burnt the truck up. And they proceeded to New York. Now she trying to say that I was with her and the guy that went to New York with her. Who was the other guy? Some mysterious Jamaican guy. Never heard of him, never seen him in my life. However, I got uncontroverted evidence that I was in Cleveland, Ohio. I told you in the beginning of this interview, I had a landscaping and construction company.
Right.
So I got 7 cell phones listed to my company, which was Mark's Landscaping.
Okay.
None of my cell phones are roaming. At the time, back in the day in 2001 and the early 2000s, you would get something when you out of town or you're out of your service area, you'll get something on your phone called roaming charges. I mean, your phone is roaming in another area.
Okay.
None of my phones was roaming.
Not only was you not there, you can prove you weren't there. Situation.
Oh yeah, I had several witnesses, people that I was at the alumni ball, because I did end up going to an alumni party that night.
Okay.
I had people that was at the party testify. I had a picture where I was at the alumni party, at the meeting group. I had pictures there. This was the first annual Black Alumni Ball for the university, for the college students of the University of Cincinnati. They held the event in Cleveland. I'm there. It's a poster in the background. I'm standing in front of the poster. It says First Annual Reunion. And it was, like I said, it was March 23rd, 2001. I can't be in 2 places at one time. I was at the events the whole weekend. I even went to church that Sunday. People testified that I was in church. So how can I be with you in PA and New York, right, and then traveling back to Cleveland if I'm in Cleveland?